Well, the reason that U.S. fans feel like they could beat Brazil is because you have guys like Christian Pulisic who are arriving at this summer in fantastic form as we transition to this past weekend in Serie A. AC Milan claimed the 5-1 home win over Cagliari. Christian Pulisic scored twice. He's up to 15 goals in all competitions this season. While Yunus Musa went all 90 minutes, he started a lot more games in the stretch run here at the end of the campaign. So good vibes all around for the U.S. at AC Milan.
Yeah, great vibes. You mentioned Yunus Musa, who, there were some concerns, and, it's almost not fair to compare him to what Christian Pulisic was doing, but more starts, more minutes. That's a good sign even going into this summer for the national team and for his future there. And then, Christian Pulisic, this is, I feel like at the beginning of the year, I will have to go back and look, we were predicting, what range of goals he would have and be involved with. And I think we might have underplayed what or underpredicted as to what he would do. But this is wonderful, and he puts himself certainly in line as one arguably the MVP for this AC Milan team going forward. Now, this wasn't a brilliant season for AC Milan, but this was a brilliant season for Christian Pulisic, and he was healthy. He was consistent and productive, and it was pretty fun to see.
I will say, I know we don't like to let facts get in the way of a good stat, but I saw this flying around all weekend that Pulisic has scored the most non-penalty goals by a midfielder for AC Milan in a season since Kaká in such and such year. Are we calling Pulisic a midfielder now? Did I miss a memo on that?
So that's what they called him for since a mid. So what position would you say Kaká played?
He was a gray area too, but I would say he's more of a midfielder than Pulisic.
Oh, hell no. Really?
Yeah.
I would say he's more an advanced. I don't think he's I would.
Yeah, well, I guess the argument could be Kaká doesn't apply either, but certainly Christian Pulisic, it's a stretch to frame any stat as if he's a midfielder, right?
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. But in this day and age where there's not the two forwards up there, those wingers, they.
Yeah, you play.
They move all over the place.
If you call it a 4-2-3-1, then it is a gray area what those three are behind the center forward. So to your point, I guess it's valid. But nevertheless, so whatever position you call it, he's had a phenomenal season. He is fortunate that in Serie A they do have goal line technology, unlike La Liga, because that second goal of his, the referee was able to right away signal that it was a goal. He didn't have to wait for a VAR review and see if he had the right angle to see if the ball crossed the line. So he's fortunate about that.
Who would you vote for him for MVP for AC Milan?
Boy, he's up there for sure. I mean, I love Rafael Leão, and he was terrific in this match. He's probably their best player, but you could argue Pulisic had the better season of the two. It's close.
It's just great. It's great. I'm so glad that he found a place, that he's healthy, that he is happy, and it's just. I mean, I think we're probably we're seeing the best of Christian Pulisic, because everything early on was kind of framed in, hey, he's just burst on the scene, he's young and all that. So there was oohs and ahs, but to do it consistently, and he's not a grizzled veteran by any stretch of the imagination, but he's also not just this young green kid anymore. And it's been fun to see him mature into the player that he is. And who knows, Serie A might have been the place to do that, to get the best out of Christian Pulisic. So let's hope we see more of that, and he's able to translate it into the national team come this summer.
A different story for Juventus. They've had a lousy end to the campaign. They needed an Adrian Rabiot stoppage time goal to salvage a 1-1 draw against last place and already relegated Salernitana. Timmy Weah missed this match through suspension. Weston McKennie started but was subbed off at halftime.
Oof. I mean, what are they playing for? What's going on? I'm not worried about it. I am worried only if, from a contractual standpoint, because we've talked about Weston McKennie, and he's played well. He's going to want more money. He has certainly changed the perception of him after that horrible loan spell over in England. But and I'm not even worried about it. Again, people will want Weston McKennie. I think he will have plenty of job offers going forward. But I would like to see him continue with Juventus. I think they appreciate him. It's just a matter from a financial perspective of how much do they actually appreciate him going forward. And I think that he'll come back stronger if they bring him back next year. I think he'll come back stronger next year and be, again, it's value, right? Not MVP. I'm not talking about that, but just value. This is a player that I can plug into multiple positions. I know I'm going to get something out of it. By all accounts, on and off the field, he's not a pain in the ass. There is value to that in any team in the world and in any country and culture in the world.
Juve have dropped to fourth. Sean Sullivan's beloved Bologna have leapfrogged them into third. Inter, AC Milan, Bologna, and Juve have all clinched Champions League berths. All that's left to settle is fifth place between Atalanta and Roma. But Atalanta have two paths because they're also in the Europa League final against Leverkusen. Let's drop down to Serie B. Como of Lake Como fame have secured promotion back to Serie A. Nicolas Gioacchini plays on that team. The ownership group includes Thierry Henry and Cesc Fabregas, and Fabregas actually coached the team this past season, so that was big news around the world. Como going back up to Serie A. We also know the promotion playoffs are set. Venezia are involved, so you've got Gianluca Buzio and Tanner Tessman trying to get promoted, and Palermo also involved, so you've got Christopher Lund, so we could have more Americans in Serie A next season.
It was fun seeing Fabregas give his post game and talk about going to Ibiza and all this kind of stuff. I mean, Parma was actually in Serie A way back when I was playing. You know, they had the Stoichkovs and Esprias and Dino Baggio, Dino Baggio, and a bunch of different players over there. And Como, this is awesome. This is awesome to see. You know, all these Americans that are playing in Serie B, I think they're getting great experience, but it's all with an eye to obviously promotion and getting up there. And it's going to come down to the wire for a lot of these players. And you know, I hope that they get through, but I also hope that when that upgrade that often happens when you are promoted into the next league, that they continue on and they are seen for the value of not just bringing the team up to Serie A, but continuing on to provide value in order to have them compete in Serie A if that happens. So fingers crossed it goes well when it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah, Fabregas shouldn't have to venture too far. Lake Como is one of the most beautiful places in the world, so where else would you want to celebrate? And yeah, on Parma, they were a powerhouse team in the 90s, as you mentioned. Also, Hernan Crespo, Gigi Buffon started there. You might have faced the teenage Gigi Buffon when he was beginning his career.
Yep, it was amazing. It wasn't even like it's just like a small little place, and the stadium wasn't that good, and they figured it out. And they were good. Fernando Couto, the great center back for Portugal. Yeah. Gosh, a lot of good players.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.